Ianna Frisby. I'm an artist in town, and I'm also an educator. I teach at Sac City, I teach at Sierra College, and sometimes Art Institute in Sacramento. I also run Tangent Gallery too in Sacramento too, so kind of got my fingers all over the place. When selecting the work that I wanted to talk about, it really kind of came down to Mel Ramos or Andy Warhol, so I thought I would give the love where it kind of originated from. But our previous speaker talked of Duchamp, and so I think of him as like the godfather of conceptual art. And Andy Warhol also was following in his footsteps. So when we're looking at this work though, I think what's really interesting about it is we're looking at Polaroids, okay? And so what makes this work special? I mean, why is it here? And the answer usually comes up that it's Andy Warhol. Like, Andy Warhol took these. If anybody else took them, they would cease to be as magical as they are now, or treated the way they are now. So the thing with Andy Warhol is he was a very prolific machine. Like, he worked all the time, all the time. And when he wasn't working, he was socializing with a lot of famous people in the entertainment industry, as well as political people as well. So he got close enough to take photographs of some people that you probably recognize. Woo! And this is pretty much why I chose this one too, is because it was the time that Schwarzenegger was leaving office when we were like looking at the work, and I just kind of wanted to do a little hat tip to these guys here. I wanted to kind of go through a little bit about each one of these, but before I wanted just to kind of boil down what Andy Warhol was really obsessed about. I think he would be on Hoarders today if he were alive, because that's pretty much what he did. He was a buyer. He took things in, he spit them out. Sometimes they were people that were involved with that as well. But he was really obsessed with beauty. He was also very obsessed with sexuality, regardless if he had any or not, who knows. And also he was obsessed with time. For those of you that have ever taken the time to like watch Sleep or anything like that, he was very interested in time being sustained, for beauty is fleeting, but also time is also, can slip away from us and be arrested. Like his car crash scenes silk screens that he's done as well. So I wanted to kind of talk about this because what we're looking at here is the beginning of the Warhol machine, or kind of another thing about the factory as well. Some of these people were involved, but this is the beginning of the process. So there's a couple of here that I want to kind of just quickly go over. This is Diana Ross's daughter. Okay, so this was a commission piece. And this was also a commission piece, Maria Shriver. This was probably done for their wedding. This was like 1986 when they were married, and Andy Warhol died the next year after that. These probably were made out of love though. He loved Debbie Harry. Debbie Harry was like what he called the first Madonna. And also he said that if he were ever to have plastic surgery or get anything done, he wanted to look just like her. So, but also he also photographed people that were not famous, like this unknown fellow here with the black eye, yet we still want to look at him. This is kind of an after shot, really, of something that happened that we can kind of make up in our minds of why, what's going on there. This also comes from, he also did a lot of silk screens of objects. I gave my husband a silk screen of like the knives, a t-shirt of the knives, and so this probably came from that study as well. What he would do with his subjects is he would take approximately 60 photographs of each subject, and then out of that 60 he would choose about 4. And then out of that 4, he would have them sent to a silk screener that they would come back as 8x10s, and they were positive images. And this is before Photoshop. He would enlarge in their lips, and he would clean up any blemishes, waist, he would elongate the necks, and he would also maybe nip their noses a little bit if he thought they needed it. So this is all happening before we've been manipulating photographs or images in our present day. And then those would get sent to a screen printer that would print them off on 40-inch by 40-inch. The ones that we are familiar with that cost like $25,000 during that time for the first set, and then if you want anything extra, it'd be like $5,000. So money was definitely the motivator in Andy Warhol's world. Also, I just wanted to kind of, when you look at his, like the whole oeuvre of his work, it really, we have a way of like reflecting upon the 70s and 80s. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger as this young, like stud at this time. And Maria Shriver, she looks like a geisha, like the way that she's all white and stuff. So there's a lot to like kind of like look back and reflect on our culture, as far as like what we think of is important, and you know, like in pop art, in pop history, in pop music. It's all still going on today. This conversation has not ended. Thank you.